Welcome to the 6th video in the Russian helmet ballistic test series. If you haven't figured out by now that I'm testing just about every Russian helmet ever made, then by now you should know. I don't really care if you watch these videos in order at this point, but you should, otherwise things are just going to fly over your head like ricochets. As always, if you want sneak peeks about my future projects, or you just want to see data for these tests, join my Patreon. Today we're going to have another double feature, starring both versions of the Sphera helmets. In the Chapter 2 video, I've made two mistakes regarding the Sphera that bothered me a little bit. The first one was that although I ranted about Rainbow Six Siege character Tachanka's Maska use, I didn't rant about Fuse's even more idiotic Sphera use. Modern Spetsnaz do not use the Sphera, and those that used it in the past didn't particularly like the helmet. That being said, I should point out that modern Spetsnaz means Spetsnaz with at least 2 pennies in their equipment budget, as a handful of other Soviet states and even some lower echelon Russian police still make use of this helmet in 2020. The second mistake was I got the models mixed up. The Soviets started with the titanium STSh-81, and then the Russian Federation adopted the steel SSSh-94 Sfera-C. The titanium helmet is composed of 4 titanium plates, with 2 connected by a bracket in the center. The steel helmet only has 3 plates as it uses 1 monolithic center plate. The steel Sphera is heavier and has a higher protective strength than the titanium helmet, at least according to some shitty Wikipedia article that claimed the titanium Sphera only had GOST 1 level protection. Both Spheras are rated GOST 2, so I corrected that. You're welcome. The Sfera-C was made by Classcom and is created out of the same steel as their Maska helmet, though it's a bit thinner in the Maska. In fact, the steel Sfera-C is even thinner than the titanium Soviet Sphera, so it's anybody's guess as to which Sphera version is stronger. If the C is made out of the same steel as the Maska is, it should be able to handle some very rough treatment, as we've seen. The plates themselves in each of these helmets are held together in a canvas diaper, in turn held together by shoelaces. The plates overlap on their edges slightly. There is no proper suspension system in these helmets, just inner padding consisting of basic cushions. I will be giving away one of these Sphera helmets to a random commenter, so be sure to leave a comment below if you'd like a chance to win one. Backing for this helmet testing project was given largely by Commando Store. Commando Store sells all manner of military surplus products, as well as my mascot, Gondola. They provide funding for several of these helmets, as well as the 3D7 Magnum pistol and the 5.7 with armor-piercing ammunition. This titanium Sphera was donated by one of my viewers, Jeremy. He also donated the ZSH-12 helmet, so thank you very much, Jeremy. You are seriously outshining my other 99,000 subscribers. We're going to start by testing the titanium Soviet Sphera first. And here we go again, starting with 9x19 as a benchmark. No penetration, not much deformation against the plate. The canvas managed to capture the flattened round. It's been completely stripped of its copper jacket. Pretty wicked. Moving on to 357 Magnum. The round was captured on the bounce by the canvas. No penetration, and not enough deformation to cause any serious harm. We're lucky the canvas was strong enough to capture the ricochets to show you. On the 5.7 SS-190 AP shot, I forgot to turn the GoPro on, but the first hit was so interesting that I went back and shot the helmet with another 5.7 round a bit later. In both cases, the majority of the round embedded itself within the titanium plate. Though the inner cushion of the helmet has been penetrated somewhat, it's difficult to tell how much of the round would have made it inside your skull. I weighed one of the rounds and found that only around 6 grains of the projectile are missing. But if you add the material from the hole in the helmet itself, brain soup is definitely on the menu. Though Russian skulls are built different, so I could be wrong. If the steel version of the Sphera is stronger than the titanium version, and if the titanium version was able to suspend a 5.7 round like this, then surely the steel plate would stop the 5.7 round completely, right? Wrong. The AP round completely goes through the steel plate without any issue. The damage suggests that the steel might be similar to the Maskas. We can see the brittle steel shattering from penetrating impacts on both helmets, but the Maska was able to stop 5.7 no problem. The Sphera-C simply isn't thick enough. It's already a kilogram heavier than the titanium Sphera, so adding a thicker plate would make a substantially uncomfortable helmet even worse. One other thing we could try to do to confirm which Sphera is superior is to see what type of plate deforms worse from a non-penetrating impact. So we've got some more 12 gauge rifled slugs. These S&B sports slugs hit with around 500 more foot-pounds of force than the slug used against the aluminum composite STSh-82 helmet. Let's start with the steel Sfera-C plate. These impacts would definitely knock you out, but we're just trying to figure out which Sphera is stronger. Let's try the titanium Sphera. The first shot was a glancing blow. But the second is a direct hit in the center. The metal from the target tree cut into the plate from the force of the impact before the plate took flight. Again, you'd be knocked out, probably with a broken skull. We can see the steel plate has deformed substantially more than the titanium plate. Each individual deformation is much larger than the one on the titanium, although in the pouring rain darkness, we didn't record the first deformation separately on the steel plate. That individual first deformation that I'm pointing out didn't change from the second slug impact. You'll just have to take my word on it. The earlier titanium helmet is superior, and that's simply because the steel Sphera is just too thin. Still, the level of protection offered by both Spheras is quite respectable. I'd put them both on par with the 2DT helmet, if they actually had a bump-safe liner. But they don't have one. Also, the steel Sphera cannot withstand 2,500 foot-pounds of force. Shoot.